Hey folks, I'm not talking about cross stitch today. Um, and God, I look like shit, but I really don't care because this is important. Um, so it's we need to talk about how people behave online. Now, I'm 33 years old. I have been on the internet for almost 20 years now. Uh, I've got pretty thick skin, and I'm used to trolls, and I have seen trolling. Like like I've got some cred. I have seen some trolling. Um, I have seen trolling go beyond trolling into what is now known as cyberbullying. And we've all heard horror stories. Um, Primarily, uh, the media tends to make it seem like children and teenagers are the only ones who are affected by this. Not so. They do tend to be the most vulnerable and the most in need of help and resources, yes. Uh, but they are not the only ones on the internet who are affected. And last night I was scrolling through Facebook and saw, much to my dismay, horror, anger, and sadness, that uh, one of a member of the FlossTube family has taken down her YouTube channel as a result of some bullies. Now, reading between the lines, I do not think these folks came from the FlossTube community. It sounds very much like they were probably from 4chan or someplace similar. Go to 4chan.org at your own risk. I'm not suggesting that anyone go to 4chan. But that's some bullshit. And it shouldn't happen. Uh, I don't know why there are some people who are just so. Yeah, I mean, these people, they feed off of other people's pain, and I really don't. I mean, this is more than just like, oh, I have a computer, I'm behind this computer screen, and so I have some kind of anonymity so I can be a little more uninhibited and maybe be kind of a dick to some people sometimes. No, this is almost pathological, I think, and I have no training in psychology. I really have no place to say whether or not some behavior is pathological or not. This is computer chair psych with Julicious, okay? Um, where was I? I mean, I don't think that I am probably saying anything that y'all don't already know or may have experienced yourselves or seen yourselves. I know uh, quite quite a few floss tubers, at least who I watch and who I have interacted with, are also gamers and online gamers. And oh boy, do online gamers understand about trolls and just people being dicks. I'm going to burp. Maybe. Awesome. This shouldn't happen here. And I can guarantee you that these folks that I'm talking about in particular are not from FlossTube, because they were doing the general 4chan troll thing, like, oh, this person says she has a chronic illness. Oh boy. And poke and poke and poke and poke and poke, and apparently started, went from beyond commenting on videos to harassing messages and emails, which is a common pattern. Doesn't surprise me. That's the air conditioner. It's hot as hell up here, so I'm not turning it off. This shouldn't happen here. It shouldn't happen anywhere, but the crafty communities on YouTube and Facebook should not have to deal with shit like that. Because, and I'm not sure what to do about it. But I have a few ideas. And I even made this really fun graphic. It's going to come up on the screen. It's going to be really cool. It's all high tech. See something, say something. You might have heard that mantra a lot recently. The Philadelphia public transportation system has really kind of taken that and run with it as far as a way to prevent and deal with harassment. Don't know if it works. I still get harassed occasionally. I, on the other hand, have no problem with telling someone to go F themselves and leave me alone. Does that work? No, but neither does ignoring them. However, if I see someone else being harassed, I come to their aid. I tend to be a little crazy fearless sometimes, and I know not everyone is like that. But on an online forum, this is a whole lot easier. How do we do this? Well, make an effort to scan through comments on the comments section on the videos you read. Yes, I know YouTube comments can be a total cesspool of horror and bad grammar and stuff. Let it go. Not even bad grammar, just, YouTube comments are YouTube comments. It's not so bad on FlossTube, but you know how it goes. Never read the comments. That's what everyone says. Never read the comments. It'll just destroy your faith in humanity. Start reading the comments. You don't have to go through and read every single one on a person, on a person's video. Like, oh, well, Kay the Stash Queen says she really likes that fabric, and oh, and Sonia Cat Crazy Creations said she really liked that needle minder, and Coffee Stitcher said blah 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 blah. You don't have to go through like that. You can skim, because especially if it's someone you recognize, like someone who posts regularly, you don't need to read every comment, but skim. Do you see a poster who you do not recognize? Maybe read that comment. Could be a new user, could be a troll. See something, say something. What do I mean by say something? You could call out the troll directly. We don't put up with that shit here. You could do that. There are some risks involved in that. I'll talk about that in a minute. But that's one thing you could do. Another thing you can do, try to drown it out. Write a comment, don't refer to the troll directly, but totally just invalidate everything that they said. I don't think any of the mods of any of the Facebook cross-stitching groups, and I don't want to speak for any of them because I am not a mod on any of the groups, but you know, Cross-Stitch It's Fun or Cross-Stitch and Discuss or Stitch Mania or whoever, I don't think anyone would have a problem if you're a member going to the group and saying, hey folks, so-and-so's experiencing some bullying on this video, link the video. Why don't we kind of all go over there and just have like a little love fest? Everyone go over there and write a nice comment. Just drown out the jerk. That has the bonus of sending a message to the trolls that they're not really going to get that much attention, and their comments keep getting downvoted, and you know, there's a flood of positive comments, and it also helps the person who is being bullied to see support and love and friendship and nice comments. A word about challenging trolls directly. It is a fact of the world that we live in that information we would normally think of as private is actually not. And finding out someone's personal contact information is not that hard. And you can freak out about that, or you can just say, this is just the world we live in now. And honestly, maybe you don't know this, but at least in the United States, if you pay property taxes, your name and address are public knowledge, or public information. I mean, it's always been that way. If you pay property taxes, anyone can find out where you live. And I have a point. There is a phenomenon that's been happening, oh, I don't know, maybe the last 6 months, a year, called swatting. Those of you who are gamers are probably a little more familiar with this than most. Swatting is when, if you offend someone online, and in this case, offending someone online can mean winning a game of Call of Duty on the internet. Call of Duty is an online first-person shooter game. So say you offend an idiot online. Swatting is when they pick up their telephone. Well, no, I'm sorry. Swatting is when they find out where you live. And if you do not live in the same geographic area as them, like for example, I'm in Philadelphia, if I were being swatted, I could be swatted by someone, say in Chicago or in Berkeley or in Seattle. They pick up the phone, they call 911, they say, hey, someone at this address is being held by people at gunpoint. And then the SWAT team shows up at your house. Yes, this is a thing that happens. Yes, you need to be aware of this if you're going to go toe-to-toe with some of these jerks. This is why I generally do not go toe-to-toe with these jerks, because I have a 4-year-old. Make your own call. Alright? If I didn't have a child, I'd be willing to take the risk of having the SWAT team show up at my house at 2 a.m. I totally would. Because, whatever, I don't give a crap. However, if you've got little kids, I mean, that's a scary situation. And if you're a person of color, that just adds a whole other layer of risk. I mean, so these are things you need to think about before you engage a troll/cyberbully directly. And unfortunately, the law hasn't really caught up with this yet, especially because, as I said, generally trolls will only swat a person who does not live in their state/region. And so, is it federal? Is it not? Blah blah blah. The law hasn't really. There are consequences. They're not that severe because the law hasn't really caught up with this yet. And while, yes, some SWAT teams are aware that this is what happens, I mean, their job is breaking down doors and, you know, taking care of bad guys or whatever, or people they think are bad. Anyway, they can't not go to a house when they get called on the off chance that it's a prank. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's just negligent. They can't not respond when someone says that there's a hostage situation or whatever. So just be aware. Anyway, that's really all I have. I was going to be angrier, but I really just can't bring myself to be. I'm sad that we lost a member of the FlossTube family in this way, and we shouldn't put up with it. See something? Say something. I'm going to put a link to some cyberbullying resources below. The problem is the people who write these sites, and this is an American site, stopbullying.gov. It is directed towards parents of children who are experiencing cyberbullying, but there's information there that can't hurt, obviously. So I'm going to put it down below anyway, just because I like to link to things. If you live outside the U.S., I would encourage you to either make your own video or, make your own video about this. What are the laws in your state? Are things like not in your state, in your country, in your area? Is there an equivalent to swatting that goes on in your area that folks who live in, say, the UK or Australia or Japan or Canada need to be aware of? Are there cyberbullying resources from your government or any just nonprofits in your country that do good work? Mention them, link to them. That'd be great. The more voices, the better. And read the comments. Help your friends. See something? Say something.